Hello friends, welcome back to Living with Cambriea, and welcome if you are new. So this week I did end up going back to my level 4 Hoarders house. In the previous video I asked you guys if you wanted me to go back, and most of you said definitely go back, but don't keep going back if the woman wasn't ready. So this week my goal was to go back and see how much we could purge and get out of this house, because I knew there was no chance of getting this house back to normal if she wasn't ready to let go. And I get a lot of messages from you guys about this. If you have family members or friends that you're trying to help and you just don't know what to do because they're not willing to let go, well, I have to say, unfortunately, sometimes people just are not ready for the change. And if they are not ready, I always recommend don't stress yourself out about it. You can't change someone. Someone has to be at a point where they are willing to change. And unfortunately, I feel like this is the same situation where she's not at a point where she's ready to let go enough to really help her. So I did help her get organized this week, and we got rid of a little bit, but definitely not the amount that needs to be done. I also have some things going on with my life personally right now that I have made the decision that this will be my last week at her house. I did not get a ton of footage either because, well, what you guys are seeing right now is pretty much what I did all day of trying to go through piece by piece and get her to let go. That clear bin was where we were putting stuff to get rid of, and at the end of the day we only filled this one bin, and in a situation like that it really wasn't enough. So I will be starting at a brand new house this upcoming week. I have already contacted someone and I am super excited about this new house. But I also didn't feel it was right for me not to fill you guys in on the situation and what was going on. So, that was a lot of talking, I'm sorry. But I hope you guys all understand. And I did put together a marathon video. If you guys don't know what a marathon video is, it's where I show you a house that I have already gone to and completed. But instead of seeing it episode by episode, I put all the episodes together so you can see the huge transformation from beginning to end. So I really hope you guys enjoy the cleaning motivation today, and we'll stay tight for next week when we have a brand new family, a brand new house, and hopefully a huge brand new transformation. But let's get into this cleaning motivation.
Calling you up at 2 in the morning, but you don't want to talk, you don't want to bother.
Hello friends, welcome back to Living with Cambriea, and welcome if you are new. So I'm so excited about today because if you have been with my channel for a little while now, you know on Sundays I do these Hoarder series, and after my marathon videos it's always in preparation for a brand new house. So today's video, I am not so much a hoarder situation here as much as a mom that has just gotten a little behind and needed a helping hand. And that is what this series is all about. This is all about helping those in our community around us that just may need a little bit of encouragement and helping along the way. So this video is not only going to give you that amazing before and after transformation of cleaning and organizing, but I also helped her out with some decorating. She really wanted to get this bedroom to really feel like an oasis for her and her husband, considering she has 3 girls, and the youngest 2 being exactly a year apart. This mama definitely needed a space of her own. So if you guys are ready for some extreme motivation, some huge transformations, stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.
So how's it gonna be? You got me on my knees. I don't need no roses on my bed. If I could pull you closer to me, babe. Ain't nobody touch me like you can. I just need some closure, a little closure. I don't need no roses on my bed. If I could pull you closer to me, babe. Ain't nobody touch me like you can. I just need some closure, a little closure from you. A little closure, babe. Oh, a little closure. Little closer from you. I don't need no roses on my bed. If I could pull you closer to me, babe. Ain't nobody touch me like you can. I just need some closure, a little closure. I don't need no roses on my bed. If I could pull you closer.
So I actually found this somewhat funny. I have made it very obvious and like not been quiet about in previous videos how laundry is not my favorite thing. Like I can wash laundry, no big deal, but the actual process of folding and putting it away is not my favorite task in the world. And this first day was literally all folding and organizing clothing. But it didn't seem quite as overwhelming as when it's at my house, probably because it's not my stuff, but there was definitely so much.
I can't even focus. How do we talk when there's nothing that makes sense? I don't even know. So baby, if you're walking out the door, I'll be wasted. I'll be getting drunk like never before until I can't face it. Oh, I don't want your sympathy. I don't need a friend. I just wanna hold you and feel something again. If you're walking out that door, I'll be wasted. I'll be. Lately I've been feeling like I don't recognize myself, yeah. 'Cause I've been working late nights, hoping I can buy some time. Oh, but I've been so caught up in getting my paycheck, I can't even focus. How do we talk when there's nothing that makes sense? I don't even know. So baby, if you're walking out the door, I'll be wasted. I'll be getting drunk like never before until I can't face it. Oh, I don't want your sympathy. I don't need a friend. I just wanna hold you and feel something again. If you're walking out that door, I'll be.
So a big reason she got behind on laundry is usually the same reason I do as well. She was in between switching out sizes for her girls and packing away old sizes, bringing out new sizes. And I know myself, I get overwhelmed with this because there's just so many clothes everywhere. So we were just making sure to go through all the sizing and make sure everything was appropriately organized and put away for each girl. Now, the other difficult thing is obviously with her having two girls only a year apart, it makes it a little bit more difficult to keep up with things. Now, I'm also showing you a close-up of how I fold things. A lot of times people ask me how I get that file method folding. So as you can see, I just fold them in on each other and then in thirds. And then when you put them in the drawers, everything can stand up nicely and you can see everything a lot cleaner. I will have after shots of the drawers so you can see everything beautifully lined up and set all together.
Big thoughts, all we wanted was to escape. This sounds too small for dreams like this. Don't wanna settle down, don't wanna miss out on adventures, things we
Now, I will say this was a 2-day process with having all these clothes. If you've ever gotten behind on clothes, you know it can take hours to catch up. And I've said this before, I'm not looking to get a quick transformation that is like amazing but not practical for these homeowners. So this was not just folding and putting away, it was also making sure everything was organized appropriately, and that sometimes can take some time but is totally worth the little bit of extra time. Her middle child, oh my goodness, she was so cute, and I love how delicate she was around these clothes. Like, she was sidestepping it to make sure she didn't knock anything over. It was literally the cutest thing ever, and she's only 1 year old and so itty. I don't know about you, but when I see little itty bitties walking, it's always the cutest thing ever, because it's like, how are you even walking? You're so little.
My heart is at war with my thoughts. Oh, and I don't know which side is better. I try to connect all the dots. Oh, to let you in behind my shelter. You could fit into my life when it's daylight and it's night. I would give away my soul, but is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know. Where can I find your love that don't cut like paper blade? You said, where can I find your love? Where can I find your love that don't cut like paper blade? Either come close or stay away. Oh, this word's so...
And then at this time, her oldest daughter had actually gotten home from school. She had told me before how much her older daughter loves cleaning and organizing, so we definitely got her involved with helping us put everything away neatly and organized, not only in their room, but in her room as well. And she did such a good job. What a awesome helper.
I don't know. Don't cut like paper blade. You said, where can I find your love? Where can I find your love that don't cut like paper blade? You said, where can I find your love? 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 Where can I find your love that don't cut like paper blade? You said, where can I find your love? Where can I find your love that don't cut like paper blade?
And then normally I save all my afters till the very end, but since this was a 2-day process, I wanted to share with you how the drawers and clothes turned out after putting everything away neat and clean. I'm very happy with the way it turned out on day 1, but I was even happier on day 2.
All we need to put on is the radio. I can feel the heat is rising in the
And then on day 2, we started in the closet. We did not have time to do this on day 1, so we definitely wanted to pull everything out, declutter it, organize it, and get it back to working really well. That we still had, as you can see down in the corner, stuff that hadn't been put away because we knew it was going into the closet. So I told her not to even touch it because we're gonna be taking everything out and going through it anyway. So starting off day 2, this was the one project I definitely wanted to make sure we did first. Now, when going through anything and cleaning and organizing it, I always recommend to literally go through everything, because there's going to be things that you get rid of that you may not have even thought about because you haven't ever done a really thorough job. Another big thing about cleaning and organizing and all of those things is it's not a one-time project. This is something that you have to do throughout the years and keep up with it to really make sure everything stays in order. I know I clean and organize my house every single season. I will constantly be going through my clothes, my husband's clothes, my kids' clothes, the kitchen, to keep up with keeping our things to a minimum, especially with children, clothing, toys. Not only do you have the stuff that you want to buy your kids, but how many things do you get from grandparents, aunts, uncles, and everyone else?
Oh, I got things to prove to you, and I know what to do. Oh, you're moving with the lights, they follow in the night. You're always doing right. I see you watching too, and I know how to.
All right, so I want to know your honest opinion. What do you have the hardest time letting go of? For me, it's anything that has to do with the kitchen. I have a hard time decluttering my kitchen and shoes. I love my shoes, but I've definitely let go as I've gotten older because I used to always wear heels. And then I had children and realized it wasn't real practical to always wear them. And the sad thing is they now hurt my feet. I used to wear heels for hours without them hurting. But shoes and kitchen stuff, I always had the hardest time decluttering. What is your area that you have a really, really hard time letting go?
There's something I gotta say before we fade away. Oh, I'm not here to stay, my love, but that's enough.
Now, another big thing I recommend is shopping your house. I've mentioned this so many times of how I do not pre-shop before going to someone's houses. Now, I know a lot of you guys leave comments saying, oh, this would have been better if you would have gone to IKEA, done this, done that. But I want to show you that you don't have to spend money most of the time to get a place functional and usable for you. In this situation, she had some old hooks from her and her husband's last apartment, and we just hung them on the wall. That way she could have a nice area for her hoodies and sweatshirts. There wasn't really room in the dresser. These are a little bit more mid-century older dressers, and they just didn't fit well. And this is a older home. It's about 100 years old, so the closet is very tiny. So in this case, hanging these hooks on the wall were perfect. And then we found another little jacket hook holder that she had that we used for all of her scarves and belts as well. So always shop your home before you go and spend money, because often you're going to find solutions for things you didn't even think about.
You are not normal at all. No, I feel like I want to.
All right, and now we are onto a project I was super excited about. I do not normally help my clients. I hate calling them clients because they don't pay me. You guys are awesome, and by watching and sharing my videos, I don't charge these people anything to help them out. So I hate calling them clients, but that's kind of what they are. But normally, I don't decorate. However, she actually reached out to me. She watches my channel and she knows how I love to decorate and asked me if I would help her out. So we started by doing this gallery wall. I love gallery walls and I loved her style. She has a very eclectic bohemian style, and I thought this gallery wall would be perfect. Once again, we just shopped her house. She had some pieces that she wanted to put in her bedroom anyway, and we just went with it and kind of grabbed from all over to make this beautiful gallery wall.
Nobody's like us. When people see us, they know. I feel so much for you that I don't know what to do. Cause someone was before you, and someone let me go. This time I must know for sure. Cause someone was before you, and someone let me go. But I just need to be sure. Some say love's not for the bitter ones. Some say love will only bring you down. Some say love can feel much better now, better now. But will you let me down? 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 I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart.
And then at this time, it was kind of perfect timing. She had to go get her oldest daughter from school, and we were getting really close to the end. And even when I have a homeowner help me, I love taking the end to kind of go through and do my finishing touches. That way they can come in and still get a reaction and see the big, like, transformation reveal. So I just went around, did all my little touch-ups and cleanups. That way when she got home with her daughter, they could take a look at their brand new space.
Want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world. Just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Just tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you like. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is
Oh, look at how pretty it is.
Told you.
Yeah,
I love you, Mom.
I love you too. Oh, the chair does work there. I think that's very nice. Yeah, it's awesome. And we'll put a picture of you, Torby, and Io in there.
Yeah.
My beautiful bed instead, which can't actually stay on there because my husband is gross. But it looks nice. Uh-huh. We got all that stuff hung up. We got all this. And then I gotta put my makeup in here. Yeah, and then I can move my chair over there to do my makeup. You know?
Mhm.
It's a lot easier than right there. And that fits with the heaviness. And once we have a big giant TV, then it'll work.
I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you like. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you do.
Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you are new here and haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with any new content I have coming out. Also, hit that like button. It really helps out my channel. And if you've made it to the end, leave me a smiley face down below. I absolutely love knowing who makes it all the way to the end. But until next time, guys, bye!
Always alone. You will always be there. Always alone. You will always be there.
Hello friends, welcome back to Living with Cambria and welcome if you are new. So today we are doing another episode in my Hoarders series. If you didn't watch last week we tackled the master bedroom and today we are tackling the basement. So she is actually a photographer on the side and has been wanting to turn this basement into a studio for her. The issue was she not only had a bunch of their stuff that needed to be gone through and organized, but she also had stuff from her sister and her brother. So today we are tackling everything, getting it organized and into the room on the other side of the basement, but we don't just want to throw it over there. We want to make sure everything gets put away in a neat and orderly fashion. We don't want to cause more headache in the future. So if you guys are in the need for some extreme cleaning motivation and you need some motivation to get up and get moving, throw this on your TV and let's get to it. So if you have watched my videos, you've heard me say this before, but if you are new here, one of my big things in the beginning is my organized chaos phase. I always say how things actually get worse before it gets better because I'm pretty much just going through everything and trying to get it in areas that make sense. They're all with like items so that we can do things as easy as possible. We did work with some of the bigger items first since her husband was home when we started the day, but then we knew he had to go off to work. So we did kind of play around so that the things we knew we wanted his help with, he was there for. It's kind of different because often you guys don't see the husbands because either they're working when we're filming or they're taking care of the kids while we're trying to get stuff done. But today you'll actually see him a decent amount coming in and just helping us move the things that is just a lot easier for a dude to do.
I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling. I'm so deep down, and it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning in those blue eyes, and you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark. I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light.
So I do like to vacuum in the sections, especially if I know things are going back over here. So in this situation, we want to use the wall for some of the bigger furniture pieces that she uses as different props and things like that. So do a quick vacuum over here. That way we can move stuff. It just makes it easier. And then when you're all done with the room, you can do a vacuum over everything, but you're not worried about missing the stuff that's under the furniture if you've already vacuumed it before putting stuff back.
You can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark. I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light if it gets too dark.
Now, one big thing to do when you're going through stuff is try and go through every box. Now, obviously, when you go through some stuff, you're going to have boxes that might already be organized, but it's still good to check and then label. I don't often show this process, but labeling is so important, especially here when we are dealing with stuff that's hers, her brothers, and her sisters, and it's still all going into this back room is we're making sure to label it. That way when her siblings are able to come and get their stuff, not only is it nice and organized, but it's easily labeled and easily accessible.
Be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. I'll be your light. Your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light.
Want your kisses in the morning light. Wanna be next to you every night. No, I shouldn't love you, but I might. 'Cause your lips, they taste like cherry wine. You're no good for me. We're so bittersweet, but I still want you. I do. Baby, can't you see what you do to me? I just can't resist you. You got me drunk in love, I can't sleep. I need to sober up from this dream. But I can't deny you. I can't deny you. I can't deny you. Na 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 Stay with me until tomorrow. Could you be the one to kill?
So on this side of the basement, pretty much everything was her sister's. So we wanted to go through because nothing was very organized when it was packed and just kind of thrown down here. And since we had nicer bins from going through the bedroom, we wanted to get rid of the not plastic, but the paper boxes and put them all in plastic bins. If you guys live in a part of the country that doesn't have basements, basements are one area. They're awesome for storage, but a lot of times, especially in older homes, they can get moisture and stuff. So plastic bins here in Wisconsin with basements are very important if you want to store stuff, but you also don't want to get it ruined. So we are just going through everything, making sure it's organized, and then out of the I can't talk. Paper boxes. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, I have to say, one thing I love about helping other people out is seeing everyone's style. I am obviously more of a simplistic, minimalistic type style, even when it comes to colors and everything. But I am definitely someone that can appreciate all styles. Like, it may not be for my house, but I love and appreciate all the styles. And this is definitely more of a eclectic, bohemian, hippie type style, and it's very much what my sister is into, and I really enjoy just like seeing the different things that people are interested in is just very fascinating and kind of fun for me. So I know I mentioned in the beginning how I asked her what she wanted this room to be for, and she said a studio. That is something I always ask the people I'm working with is, what do you see this room as? What do you want to use it as? I feel like those are things that are very important, one for motivation, but also just to keep you on track of what you are doing. If you have a vision in your head of what you want the space to look like or what the functionality of the space is that you want it to be, those are all things that'll make it a lot easier down the road as you're working to be like, all right, I want this to be for a workout area. So you know kind of how you want things laid out, how much space you're going to need. Or if it's purely, I want this for storage, but you can kind of envision, okay, how do I want this to look? How do I want this to feel when I come down here and I'm looking for something?
I'm so good at pretending. Keep on smiling in my tiny bubble, like a movie without ending. Spending time like it was going backwards. Bruises covering my walls, but they fall down. Diving deeper in the books that we read blind. Breathing in and breathing out to get smarter. Not working out for me, yeah. Got no money on my mind, tell my mommy I'm alright. Even laughing at the jokes you tell me. Keep myself inside the lines, needing tidy all the time. If you ask me, I am fine. Got no money on my mind. Repeating patterns like the others.
So I know here it kind of just looks like we're kind of throwing stuff out of these bins, which can seem kind of crazy, but these were the bins we knew were not organized whatsoever. So we are putting them in piles of like items. So fabric, clothing, things like that that need to be washed, we were going to put in one bin. That way she could wash them before putting it away. So that's what I'm doing here. All those pieces that she wanted to wash, she wanted in here. And then things like knickknacks and home decor in one pile, books in another. That way it's very easy to pack them back in the bins, but in an organized way. A part of the reason this kind of got crazy is her sister was coming over looking for things and couldn't find stuff. So everything's getting pulled out of bins because she couldn't find what she needed while it was being stored at her sister's house.
Don't you worry about me. If I keep feeling like I'm missing something, don't you worry about me, yeah. Don't you worry about. Got no money on my mind, tell my mommy I'm alright. Even laughing at the jokes you tell me.
Now, books are very interesting to me. So nowadays, I highly recommend taking advantage of a local library if you have one, because a lot of times we get these books, we read them once, maybe twice, and then they just go into storage. And I'm the same way. I hate getting rid of books. Like, I don't know, there's just something about just getting rid of books that it just hurts my soul. However, I would highly recommend, if there's a book you want to read, getting it from the library, and then if it's a book you know you're going to probably read over and over again, buying it that way. Nowadays, with the internet and all these things, it's a lot easier to listen to books and things like that in other ways instead of just creating clutter in your life. So, highly recommend looking into any of those online, what are they called? The book reader things. I'm like totally not thinking of the word, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And library cards, because that is going to be one way you can see if you like a book, and if it's going to be a book you want to read over and over again, then buy it. But let's test it out before we create more clutter and chaos in our homes. So, while wrapping up these knickknacks, we actually didn't have a ton of wrapping supplies, but we did have things like leather pieces from stuff that she did and stuff like that. So, don't feel like you always have to go out and buy things. In this situation, we put certain things at the bottom and then added to the top half. This was just so stinking cute. She saw me putting stuff in the box, so she kept going and getting yarn out of the yarn box. 1, to eat. She's a 1-year-old. It's to be expected. And 2, to keep putting it in the box. I was just dying watching this little girl. She's just so sweet.
You gotta understand that we get one chance, one chance. You will never regret the things that we'll do. 'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night. And when we are old and gray, we'll look back at this, the summer night. The summer night, the summer night. 'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night. And when we are old and gray, we'll look back at this summer night. This summer night. This summer night.
Now, often when I'm vacuuming, people ask me what type of vacuums I'm using. I always use the homeowner's vacuum. Reason being is with most vacuums being canister vacuums, I don't want to be bringing the dirt or allergens from my house to someone else's, or vice versa. I don't want to bring the allergens from their house back home. This house being a perfect point of they have a bunch of cats. My husband's allergic to cats, so I wouldn't want to have the chance of bringing home any dander or anything like that that could end up having him have a allergic reaction. So I always use the homeowner's vacuum. If you are in the market for a vacuum, I highly, highly, highly recommend any of the Quantum X. It's a water filtration vacuum, or Shark. Those are my two absolute ride or die vacuums.
Wanna move my feet. Wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet. Wanna drink my wine.
Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I was super, super happy with the way everything turned out. We were able to get all of her props to one side of the basement, her backdrops and lighting for photography in another area. We did leave the Christmas out since, well, it's that time of year. So instead of putting it in back where she'd have to go and get it, just leave it out and her husband can bring it upstairs for her. And then the bins all the way to the back by the stairs, those are garbage that has to go upstairs. So those are all going to be gone as well. And then in the back, we have it all organized in bins. And I actually have footage to show you guys of a closet area that is all her and her husband's stuff. And then she has an area where she put her brother and sister's stuff to make it real simple. So this closet right here has all of their personal things. And then the other stuff is going to be her sibling stuff. But if you guys made it this far, drop me... just say clean with me down below. I love knowing who makes it to the end because you guys are such a huge support to me and I love you guys so much. I don't think I can say how much I appreciate you guys enough. But until next time, bye.
Wanna move my feet.